Hello, everyone, and welcome to Liam Talks Early Years, where you could have guessed it, we're talking everything early years. Now, this is my first ever YouTube video, so I apologize for being a little bit gloomy, but it's a hot topic. It's something that we need to talk about, and it's definitely highlighting safeguarding concerns across the globe. I think it's essential that we start by talking about these cases of abuse, especially the one that happened in Madrid and the one that happened in Twickenham very recently. So I don't really want to focus my page on negative things, but I definitely want to talk about safeguarding and how dangerous safeguarding is if it's not taken seriously and if it's not trained efficiently. I thought I would start by talking about the two cases that we've known and heard about recently in the news, the one in Madrid and the one in Twickenham. These cases are becoming a lot more common, and what they're doing is they're highlighting a serious issue with safeguarding, reporting concerns, and a constant lack of supervision. And it sparks a real big debate within the online community with early years and outrage, rightfully so, because, no one wants to watch people abuse the people we pay to look after our children. No one wants to see them abusing them. No one wants to see anybody abusing a child. So let's get into the facts first. Let's talk about the Madrid case. A staff member was seen in a video slamming a toddler's head against the wall and force feeding that child. Now, if you haven't seen this video, you are very, very lucky, because it is horrific. It literally shook my bones. I had goosebumps. My body felt cold. It was a monstrosity. The disturbing footage that I saw myself was a caregiver grabbing a toddler's head and slamming it against the wall. Now, I don't know what goes through someone's brain to do anything unspeakable like that, especially to a toddler. And they were attempting to force feed by holding the child's mouth wide open. Alarmingly, what was more scary about this situation was there are other staff members in the room that did nothing. They just stood there and watched, highlighting a critical lapse in supervision, safeguard and awareness, and how to report concerns. We need to talk about collective responsibility. Just because you aren't the abuser, staying silent and doing nothing about it makes you just as bad as the perpetrator. If you're in a stolen car, but you didn't steal that car, when the police pull that car over, you are also going to get arrested and tried with the same crime. Safeguarding is no different. If you are there and you witness and you do nothing about it, you are as bad as the perpetrator. Now, if we look at the case closer to home, the Twickenham case, Roxana Lecker. This is a name we will not forget soon in childcare anywhere in this country. She was a staff member at Twickenham Green Montessori, a high established Montessori nursery. Anyway, she is now facing 25 counts of child abuse. So if you think about that, that's 25 separate occasions of abusing children. This came after an investigation into the concerns following the welfare of the children at the nursery. And she's being charged with 12 counts of child cruelty, 12 counts of actual bodily harm, and 1 account attempting to cause grievous bodily harm. Now, when you think about this, to have 25 counts of child abuse, this means this has collectively been going on for years. So nobody did a thing about it. Not a single colleague, manager, external reference, and external agencies. Why did no one say a word? Is it because no one understands how to report concerns? Are they afraid to speak up? Is there a lack of being taught basic safeguarding knowledge, or do we not care anymore? The biggest questions that both of these cases raise is, how did nobody know? How did no one know what was going on in this setting? If you work in nurseries, it's so hard for these things to slip under the radar. If you have safeguarding procedures, if you have basic health and safety procedures, this shouldn't go unnoticed, especially with 25 counts of abuse. This kind of scale just goes to show that it didn't also go unnoticed, but staff completely failed to recognize and report any signs of abuse. So this isn't just a matter of individual misconduct. This means there are fundamental flaws in safeguarding practices across the country. Personally, I feel like these cases point to a deeper issue. Our safeguarding training isn't enough. We are not doing enough to safeguard, train our staff members. How can we expect those to protect our children if the ones working? Personally, I feel like these cases point to something a lot more troubling. Our safeguarding training is not enough. How can we expect to protect children if those working with them daily do not know how to recognize the signs of abuse and what to do? If staff can't identify when something is right or wrong, how are they able to report this? Or worse, if they're turning a blind eye, what are we doing about it? Let's talk about something that is absolutely crucial, right? When we see something isn't right, when we recognize concerns and we speak up. This is something that we are all responsible for. It doesn't matter if you're a senior or if you're a practitioner or an apprentice or a student, you're a chef. We are all responsible no matter what our position in the nursery, okay? If we see something that isn't right, as a human being, we cannot just ignore it and assume it's nothing. This is where it comes about asking the right questions, about knowing what to do, okay? You have to go deeper than the general belief. This is when whistleblowing comes as such an important part of safeguarding, okay? Because in both of these cases, what stands out is that staff members were either too scared to speak up or didn't know how to, or maybe felt like it just wasn't their responsibility. But it is. It's everyone's responsibility. And thank God that young lady recorded everything in that Madrid case and reported it, because if she didn't speak out, this would have gone unspoken of. You need to remember it's critical to act fast in these situations. So if you see something concerning, you need to act straight away. Don't wait for someone else to report it. Speak up, even if it's something you're uncomfortable with doing, because trust me, the longer you stay silent, the worse it will get for you, for the child, for everybody involved. What I like to say to people is if you're in a situation where something just feels wrong, but you're unsure of whether it's abuse or not, trust your instincts. And I know it can be difficult, especially if you suspect a colleague or someone that you're close and you trust. But you have to put the children's safety first, always. Their safety is paramount above any relationship or closeness that you have with someone else. And if you do not feel like you can speak to a manager, there are always other avenues that you can take. There are whistleblowing hotlines, Ofsted, and other regulatory bodies that you can just report that is exactly there for this. You've got LADO, you've got MASH, you've got so many people that you can contact if you do not feel safe enough to contact your manager. Remember that speaking up doesn't just protect the child in that moment, but it also prevents further harm down the line. You need to remember this as well, right? Speaking up doesn't just protect that child in that moment, but it also prevents further harm down the line. By reporting your concerns early, you're doing your part to ensure that it doesn't escalate into something worse. And let's be honest, we've all seen situations where something has been brushed under the carpet that we haven't been okay with. It happens so much more often than it should. But it doesn't mean we have to let this slide now. We have to build a culture where it's normal to raise concerns and speak up, where it's supported and actively encouraged. Okay, we shouldn't have to worry about it being retaliated against for doing the right thing. We should actively encourage everyone to speak up, especially about concerns regarding children. In order to create this culture of openness and accountability, it has to come from the top down. So managers, directors, and senior staff need to set the example they want their staff to follow. They need to make sure that whistleblowing is encouraged, not discouraged. And honestly, guys, do not feel afraid to reach out to me about your safeguarding concerns, because I have safeguarding training, I have a DSL training. I can help you and point you in the right direction if you feel scared. But always try to go down the line of reporting first, okay? Because there is normally someone you can contact straight away that will help you. And guys, I hope you enjoyed watching my first video. I'm sorry it took so long to get this one out. A lot of things going on, but don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what you want to see next.